We're back better than ever. What if I told you you can build $1 million business and do it in 12 months? Would you believe me? That's exactly what we're doing. Let's make sure we get our channels connected right here. All we got to get right here is Insta. Can we get Instagram connected? Can we get it connected? Can we? Boom, we're back. We're back better than ever, shinier than ever. Listen, I'm bringing the energy today. It's Good Friday. Today is April the 3rd, 2026. We kicked this thing off January the 11th, 2026. So we're live. We're back in that thing. What are we doing? We're building $1 million business and we're doing it in public, right? We're doing the things that everybody say they want to do, but they're afraid to do it, to take the risk, to take the chance. And I'm breaking down the game as we build this thing out, right? So this is episode 60. And episode 60, what are we going to get into today? We're going to identity. Is it the foundation for your growth? And when I'm talking about your growth, I'm talking about your business growth. But a lot of times your foundation often determines your personal growth as well. So here's a question before we get into the agenda. Is it possible to be extremely successfully personally but not in business, or vice versa, extremely successful in business, but personally your life is just like it's trash behind the scenes? I don't know. Something to think about. Y'all ponder on that. It's just something it just clicked in my head right now. So today's episode 60, identity, is it the foundation for growth? Listen, family, thank you for joining. Welcome back. If this is your first time here, thank you for coming. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Listen, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. I appreciate you rocking with your boy as we build this thing out. We're building $1 million business. I'm your host, Patrick Hart, known as that healthcare guy across social channels. Army veteran, 6 years in the military, 2 tours overseas, 1 during 9/11. Eventually, I pivoted. I found healthcare. I spent over 15 years in healthcare, rose through the ranks, became a healthcare technology executive. And then in 20, I was part of an executive team that we spearheaded a technology company. And we sold that technology company in 2018 for $750 million. And I was in the room, family. Like, I'm right there. I'm shining. I'm like, I'm ready to sign the paper. Let's get this thing done, right? And so then it was eye-opening for me. I realized how many people wasn't in the room with me. And so that made me, I was grateful for being in the room, but that made me reflect on all the other people that wasn't in the room, that should have been in the room, that contributed just as much as I did. But I understood something. Man, there's a game that's being played right now. And a lot of people don't realize the game that's played. And a lot of it boils down to visibility and creating opportunities for yourself. Closed mouths don't get fed. Let me pause really quick. I see you, Britton, come in. Thank you for coming in. TikTok family has already been blowing up like crazy. Thank y'all for joining. We're building $1 million business, and I'm building in public. See what else we're going to get to. So yeah, that made me realize. So in 2023, I said, you know what? Why don't I build my own thing, right? So I became an entrepreneur. I started paying myself in 2023. And then in 2026, at the beginning of 2026, I was like, you know what? There's so many people that want to build a business. They want to build the life that they want. They want to build that career. They want to get that corner office. But a lot of people, they don't know the playbook, right? There's a lot of people that rock with me. They're interested in freedom. And when I talk about freedom, I'm not talking about your handcuff. I'm talking about the freedom to choose the life that you want, to make decisions for yourself that you truly want. Maybe you want to escape your 9 to 5. Maybe you want to reach for another level. You want that corner office. Maybe you want to build a business. I see you, Chris. Thanks for popping in. Maybe you want to build a business for yourself, right? But a lot of us, we've never been handed the playbook before. No one's told us, or we've never had that mentor to take us behind the scenes and say, hey, you know what? You need to do things like this. Or if you tried this, this can get you to that next level. That's what this series is about. This is for all those game changers. These are for those people that want freedom in their life. This is for those people who believe in generational wealth, but no one's never handed you that playbook to get your generational wealth. That's what this series is about. We're building out $1 million business, and we're doing it in 12 months. And a lot of people don't understand when I say we're building $1 million business. Yeah, we're truly building a business, but you need to identify yourself as a brand. You need to understand that. Once you identify yourself as a brand, then you start mapping out the playbook to build your generational wealth, right, family? Brands build wealth. So this is what we want to get to as well. So thank you for joining. Thanks for tapping in. Let's get into today's agenda, man. Let me see. Real quick, I'll let you guys know. Chat boxes are going to be open. We're going to be streaming across Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as TikTok. So we got all the family in one place. The comment box is open. Hey, don't be a stranger. Drop your first name, what platform you're streaming from. I say hi and thank you for joining. And we have two big goals this year, right, to get to our $1 million playbook. One is we actually have to generate $1 million this year in revenue, right? So at the end of the year, I have to prove to you, show you the receipts. Hey, this is how we got our $1 million bag. But if you're following the journey, you're going to realize every single episode how we're getting there. Okay, that's one. That's the big goal. The second goal is we're building out an ecosystem of 50,000 like-minded individuals in my newsletter. Let me tell you the importance of this. And this is probably going to be the most important thing you'll probably get out of this live today and every single episode going forward. You want to own your own audience, family. And what do I mean by that? We cannot rely on algorithms. We cannot rely on social media to push out our messaging, right? It just doesn't happen like that. The game is changing for social media, right? So you can put out a piece of, thank you, Carol, for tapping in. You can put out a piece of content and nobody sees it, even if you got 100,000 followers. You can put out a piece of content and you only have 500 followers and you get 100,000 people to view it. Like the game has changed, right? So we want to own your audience. Once you own your audience, family, what you do is you guarantee that every time you communicate or you drop something, your family, your audience receives that communication. That's the importance of owning your audience. So the first thing to get to your $1 million bag is to own your audience, family. So do that, whether it's a newsletter, whether it's a website, a landing page, whatever. You want to collect people's information. So that's the first bit of information that I'm going to give you. If this is your first time joining, you're like, what am I going to get out of this? Own your audience. Thanks, Calvin. Thanks for joining in. Let me pause real quick. I see a lot of people coming in. I am Terrence, Calvin, Paint and Chill, Carol, King, LV, Ian, Monkey, AM, Chris, Griplin, 302, Woodrow, Shelly, Moore, Monica, Britton Lee, Mike, Lamar. There's a lot of people popping in right here. So the channel is popping. On Good Friday, we're building out our $1 million business. If this is your first time here, thank you for coming. I do these lives every single day. We'll say Monday through Friday, noon Central Standard Time, and they're only 30 minutes long. Every single episode is designed to give you some information, some frameworks, some automation, some system builds, so you too can get to your $1 million bag. And right now, this week has been about building our foundation so we can get to that next level of our growth and our $1 million business, right? So you guys make sure you tap in. You've been showing me love the whole time. Here's some questions that be coming in. People want to know, okay, Pat, you're on episode 60. How do we see the other episodes? Listen, I created a playlist on my YouTube. It's called Building a $1 Million Business, right? You can tap into those. All the episodes right now, they're free to watch. I haven't condensed those or monetize those yet, so they're free to watch, and you want to check those out before they disappear. And or if you follow me on LinkedIn, underneath my events tab, there's a section where you can watch the other 59 episodes as well. So right now they're free. Thank you guys for joining. This would be a great Netflix and chill series to watch this weekend so you too can get to your $1 million bag. Let's get into it. Today's episode 60. This is week 12 of a 52-week build. We kicked this thing off January the 11th, 2026. And here we are, April the 3rd, man. Easter's coming up. So hopefully you have nice plans. I've already put out my Easter Sunday clothes. I put it on the bed. You know how we used to do growing up? I got my shoes right next to it. Your boy gonna be clean for Easter, boy. Your boy's gonna be clean for Easter. Like I'm telling you, it's gonna be live. I'll probably send some pictures later. So identity isn't the foundation for your growth. Let's get into it. Let me take a sip of water before we get into today's agenda. Thank you guys for coming in. I see, man, I got Profitless, I got Ray, I got Quimley. The whole family, the original something, I can't see that. Herman Lee, everybody's tapping in. Thank y'all for showing the love. Let's get into this thing. Yeah, thank you, family. I appreciate it. I've seen this. Identity, is it the foundation for your growth? Family, I've seen this play out time and time again. Like real talks, I've seen this play out time and time again. You keep trying to change what you do, right? Because you think it's going to help you get to that next level. And then you think that it's going to solve your problems. That's not the problem, family. That's not the problem at all. The problem is you haven't changed who you are yet. Real talk. And that's why everything that you're doing right now in your life, in your business, in your personal life, it feels so inconsistent. Listen, I'm not calling people out. That's not what this is about, because I've lived this life. Thank you, Amazing, for tapping in. This is not about calling people out. This is about revealing what I've seen. I'm building out $1 million business. I've been there, done that, been in those rooms, made some money doing this. And now I just want to drop the game so you too can get to that next level of your playbook. One day, I've seen this. One day you're locked in. The next day you're just off, right? 1 week you're disciplined. The next week you're negotiating with yourself, right? That's not strategy, family. That's the issue right there. That's an identity gap. So here's the message. You don't rise to your new level by doing things differently occasionally. That's not how you do it. You rise by becoming someone who operates differently consistently. Does that make sense? Am I making sense, family? Y'all let me know, because sometimes y'all know I be seeing the feed, people be coming in, and I get a couple of likes here, but I'm not getting the comments because sometimes it be hitting too close to heart, man. Some people be like, "Damn, is he talking to me? Who is he talking to?" Man, I'm just talking to whoever want to listen, because right now I'm just looking at a camera, I'm looking at my notes, and I see a feed of people come in here and there, right? So here's the message. You do not rise to your level by doing things differently occasionally. You rise to your level by becoming someone who operates differently consistently, right? And that may hit you later. Maybe it hit you tonight. Maybe it hit you tomorrow. I don't know. But until that shift actually happens, family, everything that you're building will feel temporary. Come on now. I'm talking to somebody, but I'm not sure who I'm talking to yet. But I'm gonna give you the message no matter if you want it or not. Click off if you don't want the message, but if you want the message, stay tuned. I'm gonna tell you what we're doing. So here's the promise. In this episode, we're getting into the piece that ties everything together, family. And we're talking about identity, 100% identity. It's not what you say you want to be. It's not even what you're trying to do to be that person. I'm talking about who you actually are based on how you show up. That part right there. That part right there. This is what sustains everything. Your decisions, your execution, your consistency, as well as your standards, family. So by the end of this, you're going to understand why behavior keeps breaking over and over and over again, how identity controls your actions without even realizing it, and what I'm doing to align with who I am and what I'm building, right? So here's what I have to learn. You cannot outperform your identity forever. Eventually, the real you is going to show up. So the question is, what version of you is actually showing up? And how does other people resonate with that version of you? How does that help you get to your $1 million bag? How does that help you get to your corner office? See me now. I see you, family. Thanks for popping in. Who else we got in here? Simon, Buddy. I see you, Bruce Wilson. Faith Zing, I see you, Herman, I see you, family. User W6YY92B9. That's an interesting handle, but I appreciate you popping in. We're building out $1 million business. So if you just now joined in, I'm Patrick Hart, known as that healthcare guy, Army veteran, former healthcare technology executive, was part of an executive team that spearheaded and sold a $750 million technology company at the end of 2018. 2023, I decided to bet on myself, create my own company, right? Started paying myself. In 2026, I decided, you know what? Let's build this thing out in public. Let's give people the playbook, the frameworks, the insight, the knowledge, the game, so them themselves, they can also duplicate or build out their $1 million playbook. So thank you guys for joining me on episode 60. 2 call to actions. Sign up for the newsletter. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, I'm growing that thing to 50,000 members. We're over 6,000, right? So that thing has been growing nicely. But I can definitely benefit from using you on the inside. On the inside is where you're going to get some of the frameworks, some of the downloadable toolkits, and then even some of those opportunities where we can have larger discussions as a group, or maybe even one-on-one. So you want to sign up for that newsletter. If you haven't, I would appreciate that. The other thing is invite other like-minded individuals like yourself to this live. Or these lives. I do this every single day, Monday through Friday, noon Central Standard Time, and they're only 30 minutes long, right? So we're episode 60. Let's get into the rest of today's talking points. So there's the truth that we all need to accept. What are we talking about, Pat? I'm about to tell you. You know I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to hold anything. Like this is what this live is for. So I'm about to get to it. There's a truth that we all need to accept. Most people, they're trying to build results, right? On top of an identity that doesn't support it. Come on, y'all know somebody like that? Maybe it's just me. I say that again. Most people, and there's a truth that we all need to accept. And you may know somebody, like it could be even your best friend, it could be a sibling, it could be a parent, it could be an uncle, an aunt, whomever, right? They're trying to build something. Most people, they're trying to build results on top of an identity that doesn't support it. Y'all know somebody like that? They say they this person, but their actions tell that they're somebody different. They say they want to do this, but they're doing everything different from that thing that's going to make them that person, right? Maybe I know somebody like this. Hopefully it's not you. But if it is, hey, this is what this episode is about. That's the conflict, family, that a lot of people run into. You say you want discipline, but you don't see yourself as disciplined. That's a gap. That's a gap. You say you want consistency, but you still identify with being inconsistent. That's a gap. That gap shows up in your actions, family. It shows up in your business and it shows up in your personal life. And then you wonder, man, why is my life? Why is everything so disconjointed? Why is my business flailing? Why am I not making the income that I want? Why haven't I got promoted? Why do I keep getting passed over for opportunities? Why am I not being seen for that next level of success? Why is my network not built the way that I want to? I mean, you keep telling yourself and asking yourself these things because you keep showing up inconsistent. Listen, this is not personal. I don't want it, it's not directed to you. I'm just sharing what I've seen over the years of mentoring people, elevating, getting in those boardrooms, the corner office, as well as my military experience. And I'm just sharing this with you personally, right? So we can get to that $1 million bag. That gap, it shows up in your actions, in your business, and in your personal life. So when that pressure hits, you don't fall back on your goals. You fall back to whom you believe that you are. Come on now. I'm speaking too much. I'm sorry. I probably struck some nerves right here. Y'all know some people like that. The pressure hits, they fall back. They don't fall back on their goals. Like they still got the goals mapped out, but they fall back on who they once was because they just gave up. You know, I don't want to play this. I can't do that. And that change, that's why change feels temporary for a lot of people, right? You can push for a while. You can keep pushing, keep pushing. You can stay locked in for a moment, right? I'm just locked in. I'm going to make this thing happen, right? But eventually, family, you can't stay locked in long enough to actually see the results on the other side of that transformation, what it looks like. So eventually what happens, you return to your old baseline, to your old self. The baseline is absolutely 100% your true identity. So that's where I'm going to pause here and I'm going to ask you, what is your identity saying about you? How does your identity track opportunities for you? Does your identity create opportunities for you? Is your current identity preventing you from getting to that $1 million bag? Is your identity preventing you from getting into that corner office? Is your identity preventing you from elevating and get to that next level so we can actually get paid, right? Listen, I'm just telling you what I've seen. I'm not calling out anybody, stepping on anybody's toes. I'm just telling you what it is. So the baseline is your identity. Family, I have to get honest with myself. I'm building out this $1 million business, right? And then over the course, of building out this $1 million business, over the course of building out my career, I had to stop asking, what do I need to do? Maybe you've asked that question before. You get honest with yourself and you start reflecting. You're like, man, what do I need to do to get to that $1 million bag? What do I need to do to get to that office? What do I need to do to be the version of myself that I truly wanted to be? You know what I started asking? I started asking, who do I need to become to make this normal for myself and my life? That's a different question. So a lot of people, you start questioning, what do I need to do? The question should be, who do I need to become? A lot of people think this is code switching. A lot of people think this is not being real. A lot of people think this is being fake. You know what's being fake, family? Living in a life that you don't want. That's fake. That's fake news, man. I don't want to do that. Maybe you want to do that, but that's not me. I want the life that I want, and I'm willing to work for it. That's what this build is about, right? And so what I'm learning about the most about this $1 million build in public is how much I don't know, how much I'm tapping into myself, how much I'm becoming the person that I wanted to be, how much I realized that I didn't have all the answers, how much that I realized that I needed other people's support, how much I realized how important a network is for my growth as well as my development. So I stopped asking, what do I need to do? And I started asking, who do I need to become to make this version of myself normal? That's a different question, and it is different, family. And a lot of people, we're asking the wrong thing. We're not asking the right question. The right question is, who do you need to become to make your identity normal, to get to that corner office, to get to that $1 million bag? Now it's not about effort. Once you start asking that question right there, it's no longer about effort, family. It's about alignment. Are you aligned with where you see yourself going? So I have to look at my habits. I have to look at my standards. I have to look at my daily behavior and then ask myself, does this reflect the person that I'm trying to become? If not, something has to change. It has to. This is where change can make the difference in your life, family. And I know a lot of us want it. We want the change, but we're afraid to go get that change. We still associate with people that don't help us get that change. You've heard it before. Your network is your network is your net worth, or your network is based off of your network. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all got it. So does this reflect the person that I'm becoming? If not, something has to change. And I'm not talking about an occasional change. I'm talking about a consistent change, a locked in change, a change that where there's no turning back to being the old version of myself that I'm used to be. I'm talking about a permanent change where every time you see me now, the version of myself that shows up, that's who I am every single day, even behind the scenes, right? That's the change that I'm going for. And a lot of us, we sit down and we're getting ready to get into Easter, and we be praying for all kind of things. I've done it myself. We pray for all kind of things. The only thing you need to pray for is to be able to step into the identity of the person that you want other people to respect. That's it. I see you, Lars. Thanks for popping in. That's where the identity is built, right? It's not built in what you say, family. It's built in what you repeat. So let me share with you the shift that I made. And then, we got 9 minutes. So I'll land this plane real quick. Let me pause really quick and say thank you guys for tapping in. This is episode 60, week 12 of a 52-week build. We're building out $1 million business. I'm your host, Patrick Hart. We're streaming across Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as TikTok. All the channels are open. The comment sections are open. I'll say this as well. When I'm building this thing out, you guys have been instrumental in helping me decide and determine what are the talking points, or what are the topics that we're going to talk about. So I will say this: if you're struggling with something personally and or in your business, and you're trying to get to that $1 million bag, and you think this will be a great topic to bring up for a live, make sure you slide in my DMs. Let me know. And then if it's something that I feel that's of value to the mass public, I'll write a whole freaking live around it, and we'll talk about it, okay? So you can slide in my DMs that way as well. The other thing, too, is sign up for the newsletter if you haven't signed up for the newsletter. And then lastly, invite other like-minded individuals like yourself to these lives. I do this every single day, Monday through Friday, noon Central Standard Time. I think I see you, Mr. B's 007. Thanks for popping in. So let me share with you the shift that I made. I simplified this down to 3 simple moves, and I'm about to share it with you real quick. Number 1, you want to define your identity, okay? Be clear on who you're becoming. Real talk. Not vague language, not general. I'm talking about getting specific on the version and the person that you're becoming. We're talking about how do you think, how do you move, and what you're willing to tolerate. You want to be very specific, and then start acting in ways that fit the person who you want to be. This is not fake, family. This is a transformation. This is what a lot of people pray for. They pray for their next opportunity. They pray to change who they are. They pray to change their environment. They pray to get out of the hood. They pray that their check-ins and savings ends up being reflective of their mindset or the person who they're becoming, right? We need to start acting in ways that actually fit the person who we want to be. I'm talking about every decision, every action. It needs to match your identity, even if it's your new identity. Not when it's convenient, family. Especially then, you want to be the person who you say you want to be, right? And reinforce that version of yourself every single day. Identity is built through repetition. It's not by doing things just once, and it's not by doing things when you feel like it. I'm talking about showing up every single day aligned, right? Connected to your vision, and then continually to strengthen that version of yourself and your image. Herbs and Roots, thanks for popping in. That's what we're talking about. Every time that you don't, you weaken your identity. You weaken that version of yourself. That's the game. We're strengthening who we are. That's the whole game right there. I see you as a Denal. Okay. That's the whole game right there. Let me pause real quick because I'm about to close this thing out. I'm about to land this. Thank y'all for joining me on this Good Friday. I appreciate this. This is episode 60, week 12 of a 52-week build. We're building out $1 million business. As always, I'm your host. So here's what this whole build, especially this week, because, man, we've talked about a lot this week. This week was really about building yourself foundationally. We all know that if you want to build a house, what do you start with? You start with the foundation, right? And so when we're building out our $1 million bag, when we're building out our $1 million business, yeah, you can have great ideas. You can have a great business concept. You can even have a patent on your business, right? But if you haven't started with that foundational version of what that growth looks like, we're going to be stuck no matter what. So this is what this whole week, including this build, is actually reinforcing and showing me. Decisions, they create direction, okay? Execution creates results. Consistency builds momentum. Patience allows things to compound. Focus multiplies everything. Sacrifice protects it. Standards sustain it. Environment supports it. And then your identity, family, your identity is the thing that holds everything together. I see you, Sky. I see you, Fair. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate you guys showing the love. So this is it. I'll repeat that really quick. Decisions create direction. Execution creates results. Consistency builds momentum. Patience allows it to compound. Focus multiplies it. Sacrifice protects it. Standards sustain it. And your environment supports it. And then lastly, your identity is what holds everything together. That's the foundation. As simple as that. That's it. Without that foundation right there, everything is going to feel temporary in your life. And we're not going to get to that corner office. We're not going to get that $1 million bag. We're not going to get that promotion. We're not buying that new house we talked about. We're not getting that car. We're not getting anything because we haven't showed up as the version of ourselves that we say we want to be. Without it, everything becomes, without it, everything becomes temporary. But with it, once you get your identity locked in, family, with it, everything becomes sustainable. And that's the difference. So here's where we're going next. Next week, I'm about to close this thing out. So I'm about to end today's live. But next week is going to be episode 61. I'm still pondering on what we're going to talk about. Here's something that I'm floating. I'm thinking before I get into sharing this with you, there's a couple of big initiatives I'm working on behind the scenes. I'm working on a $1 million brand course, a branding and visibility course. When that's available, I will share that with you so you can invest in that. That's going to help you break down the game so you too can get to your $1 million bag. I'm also working on a high-level landing page that you've encouraged me to invest in. So I'm working on that. I've also spent money that we talked about this in other episodes on an Instagram coach, right? So I'm working on getting that messaging out via Instagram. So I'm working on the tools and the systems that my coach is actually working on. And here's the thing too. A lot of people, let me help you with this. A lot of people think, man, if I got to get a coach, it's not worth it. You want to invest in somebody that's going to help you shorten your timeline, give you the game so you can get to your $1 million bag sooner. That's kind of, man, come on. If you're not investing into somebody that's going to help you get to that next level, then you're probably going to miss out on opportunities. You're going to be looking around. You're going to be like, man, well, how did Patrick do that? How did Trey do that? How did Samantha do that? How did, you know what I'm saying? You keep questioning everybody, but you haven't invested in yourself. That's what the coach allows you to do. And so that's why I got me an Instagram coach. So hopefully over the summer, we start blowing that baby up. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned and see how that coach actually works for me and to see if I'm actually following directions the way I'm supposed to. Sometimes that's half the battle. You can invest into something, but you don't fully use it. I found myself doing that as well, man. So I'm human like everybody else, man. We struggle. We all have our little struggles, right? So in episode 61, what are we talking about? Maybe belief. This is what I'm thinking. Maybe belief. Maybe we'll get into belief, right? Not surface level belief and confidence. I'm talking about breaking down how actually believing in what you're building, even when the results are showing up. I think this is right here. This hits home for a lot of people. You build something, you try to build something, you try to build something. Family, why didn't y'all tell me I got the big head? I'm over here looking at the thing, my freaking camera done zoomed in and everything. Man, come on, man. Y'all supposed to be helping your boy. There you go, right there. I had the big head the whole freaking time. Y'all didn't even say nothing. Come on. I told you I got these fancy cameras and they track my hand movements and everything. And so when that happens, I'd be zoomed in. So I had the big head the whole freaking time. Anyway, thank y'all for joining. This has been episode 60. As always, I'm your host. Tap in. Playlist Building Out $1 Million Business on YouTube or underneath the events tab on LinkedIn. You want to check those out as well. They're free right now before we monetize those. But until next time, family, thank you for rocking with me. I'll see you then. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Easter.